Hey guys, in today's video, we're going to talk about when you should add a secondary market when it comes to wholesaling of your off-market acquisitions. If you don't know who I am, I'm Jeremy Beland. I am an expert at off-market acquisitions. I've done well over 425 off-market deals and have done multiple grown seven-figure markets since I started my business in 2017. And I've generated almost 8 figures in gross revenue. Still mind-blowing to me today that I'm here, and all started with one $5,000 deal back in 2017. But that's the power of getting really good at off-market acquisitions, which I'm here to help you guys with. A lot of us hear about people that have multiple markets. I'm one of them. I originally, just to tell you a quick story about me, my wife and I started back in 2017 in just New Hampshire, and kind of bled into Massachusetts because we're right on the border. So we consider that one market, although it's 2 states. And then over time, we had an opportunity to do some coaching, some training out in Western New York. And we came out to Buffalo, and we're like, holy smokes, look at all the distressed properties out here. Let's start doing a secondary market here, because we know how to do a good job. And we're doing a lot of deals in New Hampshire, Massachusetts. Although we've only been in business for 2 years, let's do a secondary market. So we ended up doing a secondary market, and after some struggles, which I'll talk to you a little bit about, we started to find some success. Great, let's go start another one. We started one in Las Vegas. We started one in Kansas, Wichita, Kansas. We have one in Florida today. So we actually only have 2 today. And that is our New Hampshire, Massachusetts market, as well as our coastal Florida brand out of the Treasure Coast, Port St. Lucie with Dan, the great Dan Toback. Western New York Home Buyers, which was our Western New York brand. We were there for a few years. We did well over 150 deals in Western New York, had a lot of great success. Definitely struggled a lot to get there. It wasn't until we acquired a rockstar acquisition guy that really helped us get to that next level. We went to Las Vegas and failed miserably. Only did 1 deal. Just could not figure out how to get going. Didn't really have a good team in place there as well. And then when we were in Wichita, Kansas, it was kind of a smaller market. We actually had some good success there. Started to get some good momentum. Had a really good acquisition person, but that acquisition process couldn't wait it out. We were right on the cusp of taking it to the next level, and they decided to leave us, and we tried to hire some other people, and it just didn't work, so we ended up leaving Wichita. But we had some pretty good success there, and still have some good contacts there today. So with that being said, we're down to 2 markets. So I am okay with multiple markets. The problem is that a lot of times, this guy included, we jump into secondary markets way too soon because it's cool, right? It sounds cool to have a secondary market. It sounds like I am a rock star when I have a secondary market. It sounds like I am being really successful and I'm a badass if I have more than 1 market. Now, virtually, you're probably going to be in a bunch of different markets. But if you're a belly-to-belly acquisition company like we are, so we go on appointments in people's houses to build that infrastructure in a secondary market. It's not easy. Matter of fact, when we went into Western New York as our secondary market initially, we didn't have any boots on the ground. We were doing it virtually, but we freaking knew nothing about the market. And I was having my acquisition guy here along with myself. We were trying to work it virtually because, hey, virtual's pretty cool too, right? But we were getting houses under contract for like $12,000. We couldn't believe it. $12,000. Right? We can't even sell used cars here in New England for $12,000. Our crappy ass house in here in New England, I mean, you're lucky to get it under $100,000. And we're getting houses for $12,000. We're like, holy smokes. The problem is, those houses we couldn't give away for $10,000 because the market was completely different. Because back then, the end value of a renovated property may only be $50,000, $60,000 in some parts of the city. And it may have cost $60,000, $70,000 to get there, meaning the house would have negative equity after you renovated the property. We never experienced anything like this before, and that was a huge learning curve. So on top of that, my team also started to struggle here locally because we were taking time and effort away from here to focus on deals out there while experiencing this great learning curve and struggling, having a ton of cancellations. It was really, really a shit show. Sorry to use that, bad language, but it was. It took us a few months. We hired somebody. The acquisition person didn't work out well, and it wasn't until our second acquisition person, which our partner and great friend Matt Monod connected us with. And this kid was a young, hungry kid that wanted to get into investing. He is a rock star today. He had the mindset to do whatever it took. So he took our great coaching and then just went out there and did it, which made him great. And, he was working full time when he was working with us. Shortly after a couple months, he left his full-time job, came full-time with us, and he crushed it. We crushed it together. We're a great team. We ended up leaving Western New York at the end of 2022 with an opportunity to go into Florida, which was a market that we wanted to focus on for long-term gain. And then the acquisition person at that time, he really wanted to start to go on his own, and we wanted to foster that relationship, and we're still friends today. He does great, but it was not really easy. So a couple things came out of that, right? It was a lot more difficult than we thought. It took a lot of bandwidth from my team, not just me and my acquisition guy here, who I was flying out there to try to lock up deals, but we had to build a buyers list, and my admin team was working on the different things. Like, it just sucked up all this energy out of my team that I was using in New Hampshire and Massachusetts, which was already on its way like this. And rather than just pouring the gas and really dialing in and focusing on getting that better, I did this because I wanted to build New York at the same time. So I have no regrets, right? Progress on perfection, massive imperfect action, fail forward. This was one of those situations where I was just taking massive imperfect action and fail forward. But I learned a lot of lessons along the way, and I had a lot of great success. But what I know now is I would not have done that secondary market. So more markets sounds cool and more successful, but you have to keep in mind that more is not necessarily better, right? Sometimes less is better. So with that being said, you need to understand when it comes to opening up a secondary marketing channel, if you're going to do that, ask yourself really why. What's the point of it, okay? If it's just because strategically you feel like you can invest to make more money there and you have the resources to do that, then great. But just understand that doing that, if you're using any of your existing team in your current market now, you're probably going to hurt your current market because you're taking the resources, bandwidth, time, and energy out of that, really focusing on that one market you're already doing good at, and trying to replicate it in another market, which is going to, because you have to build it from the ground up, it's going to take time, effort, right? It's starting to push momentum again from nothing, right? And you're going to hurt momentum in your additional market. So keep in mind that it's going to come at a cost. Now, if you're in an ability where you can just keep your current market team in place and then just go build a new market, and you have the resources and energy and time and bandwidth to do that, you personally to do that, then definitely do it. But with that being said, have you squeezed all the juice out of the lemon being your current market? This is something that I heard after I started my Western New York secondary market from one of my great coaches, Todd Toback, who is the great Dan Toback's older brother. Todd Toback is a very seasoned acquisition and expert and wholesaler and just all-around investor. And he made the same mistake. Many of us do, right? Why do we keep doing it? Because, I don't know, just is how we are wired. But he said, you should not go into a secondary market, as glamorous and awesome and fun as that sounds, until you hit the point of diminishing returns in the market that you're in now. I didn't hit the point of diminishing point of returns. Matter of fact, I haven't even hit the point of diminishing returns in my market yet in 7 years. There's still so much opportunity to grow here. And that was a lesson that I had to learn the hard way, unfortunately. And it cost me time, cost me money, cost me energy, right? It cost me probably, slow down my success, honestly, a couple of years. Rather than being at 425 deals, maybe I'd be at 500, 600 deals. Or maybe I'd be at less deals, but I would have generated more gross profit and more net profit as a result of it. And probably would have kept a lot more here. And it would have taken a lot more, less time, effort, and, just energy, right? Emotional energy, mental energy, physical energy. So time is just as much a value as money, right? Especially when you're my age, you can argue that time is more valuable than money because I can always make more money, can't make more time. So do I want to be spending time on something that may or may or happen, or do I just want to focus the time I have or spend that time on what is already working? If you're going to open up a secondary market, have you hit the point of diminishing returns in your current market? If the answer is no, then I strongly suggest you think twice about going into another market, because you probably can squeeze a lot more juice out of your market now. So why not do that? I know it's not as glamorous. It's not as cool to say I own my own multiple markets, but who gives a shit how many markets you have? It's all about making money and having less time doing it, right? So if you have the ability to make more money doing less, then do less and make more money. Don't do more in a hope to make less money or eventually make more money, right? So think about that as far as the pros and cons. Does your team have the bandwidth? Do you have the bandwidth? Do you even have the team in place to open up a new market? Do you have the money and resources to get the marketing up and running, to train the new people? Do you understand that market, right? Is that market show a great opportunity of not just short-term gain, but long-term gain, right? Is it worth taking maybe a step backwards to take 2 or 3 good steps forward, because there's a lot of opportunity there that maybe your market doesn't present itself, right? So here in New England, it's really hard to buy multifamily, or I should say single families as rentals, right? Because the price for a house is so expensive. Other markets like Buffalo, you can buy houses and have them be completely renovated for $50,000, $60,000, $70,000. You can make good money from net profit of rentals on those. So does it make sense to go there to build a rental portfolio? Because that's really what your long-term gain is, and you're going to wholesale along the way to help you get there, right? But you can't do that in your current market like we do here. Now, you can find some great multifamily off markets, but still, it's really expensive here. So maybe that's a reason to go into a secondary market. Is your market struggling, right? Are you in a small market? You've already squeezed out all the juice, and there's just not a lot of opportunity. Maybe you don't have a great population here. So you live here, you've gotten the best you can out of it, but there just isn't a lot of opportunity and you feel capped. Then you go into a secondary market. Maybe the market's just struggling, right? Because nationally, some markets look great on paper, not all local markets are. Maybe your local market is struggling. Maybe there's some big companies that left the area, and unemployment is high. Cost of living is high. It's the prices of houses are going down, right? Those are factors, like economy factors, economic factors, right? Do you have the pricing of houses? Maybe there's some legislative rules that have come into place where it makes it not great to invest in, to wholesale in, right? These are all factors that you may not be able to control where you live at this given time, but doesn't mean you have to necessarily focus on your primary market as the only market. Maybe now you're getting to a point where it doesn't make sense to really push your market forward more, because it's going to be more work and headaches than it's worth, and it may be easier to open up a secondary market and run it virtually, or build it from the ground up with boots on the ground and run it from afar, rather than trying to really work on your market, because you feel like your market, you're just pushing this big boulder uphill, and it's an endless battle because the economy stinks. The pricing of the houses isn't great. The laws and rules and just aren't in your favor, right? Those are all factors that you have to consider when doing secondary market. So I guess that's really about it. So when it comes to open up a secondary market, make sure that it makes the most sense for you personally and financially, right? Make sure that you're not just doing it for ego, right? Because you think, hey, I'm a rock star, I can just rinse and repeat it somewhere else. You probably can, but do you want to? Do you need to? Should you, right? Does it make sense for you? Do you want to spend that time and energy building another market? Because you do doesn't mean you're going to replicate all the success and revenue that you make in your original market. Would it be better to spend that time and effort building on your current market more and expanding that market, hiring more acquisition people, right? Getting to the point of diminishing returns before you get to that point. How close are you to the point of diminishing returns? Are you far away? You probably are, right? So make sure that it makes sense. But if your economy or where you live, it's, you know, economically struggling, the pricing of the houses aren't great, there's not a lot of opportunity there, maybe there's not a lot of investors buying there, maybe the, you know, whatever, it's just not a great area, then you can focus on a secondary market. So there's some reasons why you should, there's some reasons why you shouldn't. So if you're living in a place that you need to live in, but it doesn't make sense to really put all your eggs in that basket, then go open up a secondary market, whether it's virtually or from the ground up. If your market is doing good and you feel like you can do better, then why bother, right? Really, why bother? Get your market to a point where it's humming and cranking and maybe running without you and making a lot of money without you, and to the point where it's at close to the point of diminishing returns without you doing anything, right? You built this team, you built this company, whether you work or not, this team, this company is kicking ass. Well, then maybe it makes sense to build out a secondary market. I have 2 markets. Neither one of them are the point of diminishing returns. I am not opening up any new markets until they both do. So I've learned some mistakes. I'm hoping these mistakes help you. That, you know, sometimes as entrepreneurs, we want to just have these new goals and do new things. It's fun. It's exciting to build, right? Sometimes our ego gets in our way, right? So just make sure that you're doing it for the right reasons and not the wrong reasons, because it will slow down success if it is for the wrong reasons. So I hope that helps. All right, guys, that's today's video. I hope you found that very informative. You know, I am an expert at acquiring off-market deals. I've done quite a few of them. If you want to get better at acquiring off-market sale deals and get really good at the sales side, well, then I recommend you hit the link below. In all transparency, guys, that link is a sales funnel meant to sell you something. My coaching. If you're not interested in my coaching, no worries. I hope this video brought you lots of value. There is a lot to learn from my videos and other videos that I do. If you find value in my videos, please do me a favor, man. Like the video, right? Like the video. That helps the algorithm on YouTube, and subscribe to my channel because I got more videos coming. And if you want to learn more what I have to say from the things that I've done right and the many things that I've done wrong, then subscribe to my channel. That will help other people find my channel, help my video reach more people, which allows me to provide more value to everybody. So provide value to me, like, subscribe. If you're interested in my coaching, click the link. If not, watch the next video. Keep learning, keep doing. Really appreciate you. See you later.